I'm investing in dividend or income producing assets with the goal to someday retire early. During February, I hit some awesome milestones, so stick around as we go through them. Cue the classical music. Welcome back everyone, I'm the Swedish dividend investor. So, I hit some pretty big milestones during February, and I also changed things up a bit. If you have watched my videos before, you might know I love investing in higher yielding assets. Why do I do this? Since for my own situation, it makes the most sense towards reaching my goal of retiring early or living free. I will make a video about my roadmap going there, but for now I just wanted to share some changes I have been making and some of the milestones I reached during February. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my investing journey, my experiences and my analysis. Make sure to read the full disclaimer in the description. So last year, I decided I wanted to trim my portfolio. I was close to 40 holdings and honestly, that is a lot of work to keep up with. I also started investing a bit more into ETFs. So, I did some spring cleaning. A viewer wanted me to somehow show my broker and my portfolio in English. So, I am using the Google Translate function on my broker. So some stuff gets translated funny, but I guess it's better than just having it in Swedish. So, I sold Philip Morris in June and realized over 100% gains on the share price alone. And I exited my Amgen position and put that money into ASWN or PFFI. My selling continued this year. I sold Axfood, a Swedish grocery giant, and I realized a pretty nice gain as well. That was in January, and that brings us to February, where I sold 5 positions. WP Carey, Verizon, Archer Daniels Midland, Ahold Delhaize, and Amsterdam Commodities. All of them was sold with varying degrees of profits. Some was slightly in the red, but had positive total returns thanks to the dividend. Some had great total returns. Let me know if you guys want a detailed video on each holding and my way of thinking when I sold them. Anyway, exiting those positions, I had to decide what I would want to buy, something I knew in advance. I actually made a copy of my dividend tracker and played around with the numbers, different holdings, etc. So that's a pro tip if you ever feel like rebalancing your portfolio. I did buy KNG, as you already know if you watched the KNG video, link in the description, but I also started a position in SYLD or SY7D, Global X Euro Stocks 50 Covered Call ETF. This was just before I saw JP Morgan's JEEP or JEPE ETF was launched. So I'm glad I didn't go that heavy into SYLD. If we take a look at what I did with the rest of the money, we can see I went hard into KNG. Yeah, I now own 630 shares. So I've invested roughly 11,775 euros in KNG. I also bought more ASWN or PFFI from the proceeds of Amsterdam Commodities. So I'm up to 550 shares now. I will continue to sell more of my holdings in my portfolio going forward and shifting it into my ETFs. That is my focus for the year, and I'm not in a rush to do this. So, after the selling and buying, my income changed by quite a bit. Now, I get that some of you might think this is pretty stupid, but I have my reasons. It doesn't mean this is the best way for everyone or that you have to do this. On the contrary, you shouldn't do this. I spend a lot of time analyzing ETFs and stocks. There are risks to consider when going heavy into high yield. So, before we take a look at the income, I want to show you one of the milestones. That being my high yield portfolio. I will have to do a separate update on this and go through my latest buys. But now the after-tax income is over $100 per month on average. I might add one more position to this portfolio. but the goal was to get $100 per month in after-tax income and then just reinvest everything back in the portfolio to see how it performs over time. Let me know if you think I should add one more position or just be done with the allocation. Now, for a huge milestone. After the changes in my portfolio, I have actually blasted past 100,000 Swedish crowns in pre-tax yearly income. My after-tax income is currently at 96,500 roughly. My yield on cost is now 8.32%, which for some is very high. My monthly after-tax income is over 8,000 Swedish crowns. And switching over to USD, we can see I'm getting over 11,000 pre-tax per year and over 10k after taxes. I also added a Euro tab. I simply used the Google Finance currency converter for the Swedish numbers. Just a tiny bit left until I reach 10k euros in pre-tax income and just over 9k euros in after-tax income. Since I sold 5 foreign assets, my effective taxes also went down a bit, since I don't have to pay a withholding tax anymore, and the dividend-paying ETFs domiciled in Ireland is tax-free for me, since I hold them in a Swedish tax-sheltered account. I think it was around 7 to 8% before, and it's down to 6.32%. Another milestone I hit, and this is something I haven't shown before, that is coverage of my expenses. If we scroll down a bit, we can see my pre-tax income is covering 50.44% of my expenses, and the after-tax coverage isn't that far off with 47.25%. This is based on my monthly expenses, which are 17,000 Swedish crowns. That's $1,831 or 1,587 euros. Now, would an income of that be enough to retire on? I don't think so. I could survive on it, but that is with no discretionary spending, only to live. So, of course I would want to go higher, but being around halfway to cover my living expenses with my income does feel huge. As for the allocation in my portfolio, it is now 38.7% allocated to ETFs, and compare that to 26.8% in 2025. I have 9.3% of my invested capital in KNG, and ASWN PFFI is sitting at about 7.6%. So my short-term goal is to make it the same size as KNG, and then I will have around 9 to 10% into JGPI, KNG and PFFI. But guys, that's it for today. Just a quick update video, as I have been pretty busy. I would love some feedback from you. Was this a stupid move? Do you deem this as risky? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, if you enjoy my work, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Thanks. I'm the Swedish Dividend Investor, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay smart, stay patient and keep stacking those dividends. Ha det gött!